All right, guys, before we get into the intro, I want to make sure that one, you have your vehicle on flat level ground before you take the dry shaft off. Two, that you have at least 2 blocks under at least one of your tires. In the video, I've got both of them blocked off. You can buy them basically anywhere, any hardware store. If you want to get them a little cheaper, you can probably go to Harbor Freight or Amazon. You can get a set of them for 25 bucks, which is pretty cheap. If you've seen any of the videos where people try to take their dry shaft off and they're not on level ground and they don't have blocks, while they take the dry shaft off, the vehicle starts to roll. Obviously, I don't want that to happen with anybody. With that being said, what's going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episodes of Breakdowns with Brian, we're going to be going over my 2016 F-150 again, and we are going to be fixing some vibrating that's coming from the drive shaft. I know this is the issue because I did the video last week, went out and tested it, and it's fixed the issue. I got online, I bought this. It's a 3-ounce tube of basically just dry shaft lube. If you haven't had the dry shaft off, this may not be your issue. I've had the drive shaft off just a couple times with doing the rear diff, the seal on it, and one other time I got the dry shaft balanced years ago. And I didn't put any of this back on. The issues that I'm having are when I'm at speed above 50 miles an hour and I let off, there's a vibration in the whole truck, and it's only for about 2 seconds, if that. But it's anytime I'm accelerating or at speed and I decelerate, I get a little vibration. Also, when I'm taking the truck from zero, so if I'm at a stoplight and the truck accelerates forward, I get almost like a skipping. Almost maybe you would think it might be transmission, where the transmission is possibly skipping. So this is going to fix the problem. In the video, I only put a little on there. I ended up going back and putting, I would say, a good 80 or 90% of this in there. I would definitely try to put as much as I can in there, and that's going to fill those little gaps in between the teeth on the drive shaft. That's basically it. Go online and grab this. It's just a lubricant. So with that being said, go ahead and watch the install video. All right, guys, I've got the drive shaft, or I say the truck, in the air with some homemade ones. And I also always have pressure on this as well. I have it in the air because some of them, like this one and this one, are going to be easy to get to. Maybe even that top one over here. But just depending on your angle. Of course, you can always spin it just to get that little extra. So that's why I like to put it in the air. Plus, it's always nice to have a little extra room underneath. Now, before I do the last one, I've got these from Snap-on where it's a wobble head here. You can also get some wobbles from here that have just an adapter that will allow you to get that weird angle there. Plus, if you put it in all the way, it can be a straight, and then you just undo it a little bit, and then you get that little flop in there. So let's try to get this up here. I should have mentioned that you're going to need some type of marker, because it's always good to, if you're not having any issues like unbalancing issues from the drive shaft, it's always good to mark where like this hole goes, because when you pull it out and you rotate it, sometimes you might get a little different vibration. So it's always good to mark where at least one bolt goes so you can match it back up. Now I'm going to go grab that, and gonna go probably just pull it out real quick. All right, guys, I've got my marker. I would try to use just obviously anything other than black. I've got a red. I would say for make it a little easier to see, use like a white or a pink paint marker. But so now since we got this one, I have a 2-piece dry shaft. So I have this right here. Now my little grunt to Ford is why use a 6-point when this here, when you know you got to take this off, in order to take this off. And my complaint is this one is a 13 when this one here is a 12. So that's my big issue with Ford is, and it could be everybody, but why not just use a 12 millimeter head when I could use the 12 point with it. So I've got pretty dusty, so we're going to put the camera down for a second. Got one down. Now let's try not to drop anything on my head. Now that we got that off there, find the bolt. Now, I will say that before you take this off, I would make sure that you can get this off. So you should have probably hit the end of this here with a hammer, just to make sure. Now mine's not just popping off, so I'm going to use a hammer and just give this here a tap. There you go. Let this down. Let's come over to the other side. And we're just going to pull it out. It should just like it is. Slip out. Just like that. Let's put it on the ground. All right, now since we're on the other side, you can see how much the drive shaft goes in. It's going to go in about, I'll say about 4, maybe 5 inches here. And it's going to slip right into there, and it's going to go into the transfer case. I believe I said dry shaft earlier. Sorry, I believe I said transmission earlier. But it's going to go into the transfer case. So all we're going to do is put a little lube on there, maybe see if we can clean some of that off, and then put a little lube on the inside. You never want to pack it too much. As you can see, it's pretty dry in there. There's not much of anything in there. So let me throw some in there. All right, so I've got it packed, but just on the outside of it. So when this goes on the inside, it's actually going to push all the lube through it. And I've got just a little bit, just a small ring on that outside of there. So with that said, we're going to slap this back up there. We're going to do everything in reverse. We're going to put the 2 bolts in there, make sure that the rear is lined up, and that's really going to be it. I'll come back and after a drive or two, see if that's solved that little issue of mine, and I'll let you know. All right, guys, if you liked the video, hit that like and subscribe. If you guys want to know anything else about the issue that I was having or anything else about the truck, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Until next time, guys.